I got bit by a venomous copperhead snake and lived to tell the story about it. I'm bringing you back 6 years to Halloween Day in Houston, Texas. I was at a nature conservatory walking my dog Raven when all of a sudden I feel this sharp needle-like pain in my ankle and I just drop to my knees. After that I get up, I turn around and I see these eyes looking at me. It was a snake all coiled up and I was just fumbling trying to grab my phone so I can take a picture of it. That way I can show like the nature conservatory. By the time I got my phone out, it just slithered away. Couldn't find it anymore. And so I ended up just limping back to like the office where the conservatory was. I spoke to the receptionist there and I told them what happened. And then they started going through their minds about all the snakes that they had in the conservatory. Copperhead was one of them that popped up. And they brought out like books and images and stuff of a copperhead or a bunch of other snakes too. And then they brought out like a model, like an actual like figurine or something of a copperhead. And it looked exactly like it. Like the pattern and the color and everything looked exactly like it. And where I got bitten started to swell up also, but it didn't start changing color. And so that was one of the biggest things that they mentioned to me. They said that if it was an actual bite with venom injected, that my leg will start turning a different color after about 15-20 minutes or so. And so they called the ambulance for me. We waited some time. It was about 20-30 minutes already, and I felt fine. Like my leg was throbbing, but I didn't experience any different coloration in my leg. They said that it was still a good idea to go to the hospital. And so when the ambulance came, I had to leave Raven at the conservatory. And they were going to take care of her for as long as they can until I get back to the conservatory. The medic came and sat me in the ambulance. I was sitting in the ambulance. They gave me an ice pack. I was concerned because I didn't want to leave Raven, and I was also concerned about how much it's going to cost. I didn't want to go to the hospital in an ambulance if I didn't need to. So after contemplating it for a while, I decided not to go. Went back into the conservatory, got Raven, and I limped my ass back to my car, and I drove myself home and left Raven at home. And this entire time, my leg is just throbbing. It's just in pain. But I was still able to limp around and like get around, and I felt fine. So around at this point, it was around 5 or 6 p.m. in Houston, so it was rush hour. So I had to get to a hospital. I looked up the nearest hospital. I drove around like 35 minutes to a place. And when I got there, I got admitted in, and then I was in a room waiting for a doctor to come. I told them my situation and they told me they couldn't treat me. And so I had to leave and go to a different place, to a different hospital. And it took another, I think like 30 minutes or something to get there. By the time I got there, my leg was just throbbing like crazy and was just in ridiculous pain. And I literally was hopping to like the entrance. And by the time I got to the entrance, finally got checked in and waited another like 20 minutes to get in and like talk to someone, like talk to a doctor about it and stuff. They finally put me in a wheelchair and they wheeled me to like another room. I told them what happened and they gave me like a tetanus shot. And then I had to sit there for like an hour or something to make sure that everything like goes through my system if there was any venom. But they checked and they said by the time that I got to the hospital anyways, I likely didn't have any venom in my system. But the tetanus shot was for, I think, bacteria infection or anything like that. I'm not entirely sure. But sat there for a while and then they brought me home with like some crutches and stuff. But months later, at this point I was in Minnesota. I moved back to Minnesota. I was slapped with like a $2,000 bill. They never gave me a bill like when I was in Houston. They gave me a bill back when I moved back to Minnesota, which is crazy. $2,000 bill for a tetanus shot and just waiting in the room for like an hour. So yeah, that was my 2016 Halloween. Surviving a copperhead bite. Ever since that incident, it's made me a lot more aware of my surroundings when I'm visiting like a new place, especially when it's in like the woods or something. if I'm unfamiliar with like the animals and even the predators there, I'm a little bit more aware now. So even here in Minnesota now, there's not a whole lot of things that I need to worry about, but I still am pretty aware of my surroundings when I'm walking around in the woods, because you'll never know what you'll run into. Thanks for listening to my quick story. I hope you enjoyed it. Please smash that like button if you liked it. Consider subscribing, and I will see you next time in the next video. Peace out.